I recently read an article published by National Geographic that was based on a study of 500 lost hikers. And it got me thinking, do I have in my day pack the right things to survive an unexpected night in the wilderness? So the study that the article referenced concluded that day hikers are the most likely to perish if they get lost in the woods. And most of my hiking, especially in the winter, is day hiking. So it really got me thinking about my day pack. So what I'd like to do in today's video is unpack my day pack from my last hike and evaluate, based on the information I learned in this article, whether or not I could survive an unexpected night in the woods with what I was carrying with me on my last trip. So I want to start with what's in the lid. The pack I carry in the winter for day hikes is a Black Diamond Speed 40. And the reason I like that one is it's got a ton of straps on the outside for snowshoes, crampons, ice axe, trekking poles, all that kind of stuff that doesn't really fit inside the pack and you wouldn't really want to put inside your pack after it was covered in snow. So that's been my go-to day pack for winter hiking for the last couple of years. So let's check out what I've got in the lid of my day pack from my last trip. The first thing you'll find is a map and a compass. I do know how to use these. I think everyone should. There's classes you can find. I know REI offers one at least once a year. There's a lot of good tutorials online. Definitely worth knowing how to read a map and a compass. The next thing we find in the lid of my pack is extra calories. Now these are calories above and beyond what I had planned to eat on the hike. This will hopefully sustain me through a rough, unexpected night on the trail. Some more extra calories. These aren't really extra, this is just trail mix I didn't finish, but I definitely carried more trail mix than I would have needed for the miles that I did on this last hike. Headlamp. Headlamp technology has come so far in the last few years. These things are so lightweight and so compact. Honestly, there's no reason not to carry one. You know, if you're out past dark and you hadn't planned on it, you need a headlamp to be able to see the trail. If you're lost and you need to signal rescuers, headlamp's a good way to signal somebody to let them know where you're at. Water filter and a way to collect water. Again, the technology on these things has come so far in the last few years. These are so lightweight and so compact that there's just not really a good excuse not to carry them. The headlamp, the water filter, and a few other items that we'll see later come with me on every trip. Even if I'm just doing like a fanny pack and a bottle of water, these are things that are in that fanny pack as well. Because I do hike with my dog Atticus, who if you've spent any time on the channel, I'm sure you're familiar with. Collapsible bowl for his food and water, and extra calories for him as well. Sunscreen, lip balm, these are super important. Bring them with me on every hike, no matter the length or the distance. All my trash that I packed out. Pack your trash out. And the last thing that's in my lid is my titanium cutlery. On this particular trip, I carried a stove with me and I had soup for lunch. Obviously, the spoon came in pretty handy for eating the soup. So now, let's take a look at what's in the main body of the pack. First thing I've got here is my trowel and my teepee. You know, you never know when nature's gonna call. These come with me on every hike. The next thing, extra base layers. I have a top and a bottom here, and in the winter, no matter the length of the hike, no matter how long I plan on being out, I carry one extra set of base layer or mid layer, depending on how cold it's going to be, just in case I get wet, just in case I get too cold. You know, I've got a pretty good handle on my layering system these days, but extra clothes in the winter, always a good idea. My trusty puffy jacket. Didn't wear it on this trip, but I had it with me just in case. This would definitely come in handy were I to be stuck out overnight unexpectedly. Waterproof, windproof gloves. These are Outdoor Research. I got them on clearance for a super, super good deal. I really like these gloves. They have a removable liner that you can wear while you're hiking. And then you just slide that liner and your whole hand straight into the glove. These are absolutely waterproof. I have unfortunately tested that the hard way. I trust these with my life. These are great gloves, a must carry for winter trips. My Jetboil, as I mentioned earlier, on this trip, I decided I wanted to have a hot lunch, so I brought some soup, and I brought my Jetboil to cook that soup. Now, the other thing you could do with this, other couple of things you could do with this now that I think about it. Number one, you could melt snow to replenish your water. Now, let's say you're out, you've taken a wrong turn, you're lost, and you're nowhere near moving water. Your water filter's obviously not going to help you out. You can boil snow to get water. The other thing you could do with this, if you had to, was start a campfire. I realized as I've been unpacking, I didn't carry a lighter or matches or a flint or anything like that, but I most definitely could start a campfire with my Jetboil. My trusty mug. I also had some coffee on this trip. So the next thing is my trusty Nalgene, glows in the dark, pretty fancy. Again, a multi-purpose item. Obviously, fill it with drinking water, drink out of it. Everybody knows that, no brainer. You could also use it in conjunction with the boiled snow. Fill the Nalgene full of boiled water, put it inside your jacket. Generates a lot of heat, a lot of warmth. So if you're trapped outside unexpectedly in a big snowstorm, or you've become injured and you're going to end up staying out all night until you get some help, fill this with hot water, keep your core warm. For the most part, if you can keep your core warm, the rest of your body's going to be warmer. So the next thing in the main body of the pack is my survival blanket. I have not had the opportunity to use this one, which I think is a good thing. So the reason I like this one versus some of the other ones that are on the market, some of the ones that might be a little less expensive, is this one's big enough for me and my dog. And that's something that's super important to think about if you're hiking with a pet. You know, you are solely responsible for their safety. So with this blanket, if Atticus and I were to be trapped overnight, unplanned, we could both climb under this and huddle together for warmth, and we would both be safe, we would both be dry. So this is clutch. This is another one of those items that even if I'm just out for a short trip, even if I'm just carrying my fanny pack and a bottle of water, this is in the fanny pack. Last item in the main pouch is my first aid kit. This is just kind of a standard generic one that you can get at REI or Walmart or just about anywhere. And again, I have not had cause to open it, which again, I think is probably a good thing. And this is another one of those items that no matter the length, no matter what pack I'm carrying, this is in that pack. So the last thing is my cell phone. And this isn't necessarily in my backpack, but it's on my person. I have it with me. And you know, I've got GPS apps on here. It's got a built-in compass. You know, there's a lot of good things. And on this last hike in particular, I had cell signal the entire time. So if something did happen and I wasn't able to walk out, I could call for help. So looking at everything I was carrying on this last trip, I feel pretty good. I do think there is some room for improvement. Obviously, I could carry some kind of a GPS device like a Spot or an InReach, and that is something I haven't invested in yet. I've been lucky enough that on the longer hikes I've been on, other people I've been hiking with had those with them, so I didn't need one because it would have been somewhat redundant. And then on my Tahoe Rim Trail hike, which I'll link up in that area somewhere, my buddy Brian let me borrow his Spot. So again, I kind of dodged needing to buy one for myself, but more and more I go out by myself, and more I realize that's something I should invest in. That's an important piece of equipment that I should have on me, and it is something I need to take care of sooner rather than later. The other thing that I wish I had been carrying relates directly to that temporary shelter, to that blanket that I carry, is some paracord. Because with paracord, I could make a tarp-style shelter with that blanket and some sticks and some rocks and some other things I might find along the way. And I don't know that I would ever do that, but having the option would be nice. I do hope you found some value in this video. Leave your questions, comments, critiques down below in the comments, and we will talk again soon.